What is everybody? We're back to the Transparency Idaho4 creator live call-in and link, plus some new documents. We're going to jump right into it. Tomorrow night at 2 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to have Chris Whitcomb back in the studio tonight. You can catch Chris on the Custody Queens channel. Outcast will be on as well. So nice to see. I know that we said we were going to have Chris back, so we are going to have Chris back. And I think he's doing an interview with them and then doing an interview with me. And then he said he's going to hold off on any other interviews until after this post-conviction, filing is settled and stuff like that. So we'll see. So again, good afternoon, wherever it is that you're watching at some point in the video. You're going to have an opinion. So thumbs it up, thumbs it down. Use the comment section of the live chat. Use the comment section of the video. Make yourself known. Again, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Take a look here. If you take a look, we have a new document. And one of the new documents is, this is exhibits 1, 2, and 3 in support of motion in limine, which is vague and undisclosed expert testimony. So basically what Ann Taylor is using here is she says, hey, comes out Brian C. Colbert and by and through his attorneys and hereby files under seal exhibits 1, 2, and 3 in support of motion in limine for vague and undisclosed expert testimony. Exhibit number 1 is the ISP lab report 3. Exhibit 2 is the police report indicating additional analysis of Mr. Colbert's computer. And exhibit number 3 is the defense's 9th supplemental discovery request. Item 211 and the state's 8th supplemental discovery response to item 211. And so Ann Taylor was on it. She knew that they were fucking around, that their dates and stuff weren't lining up. Basically, the key word here is a lot of gaslighting. Kind of like what we saw today being performed on people's posts. A lot of gaslighting. So here is example or exhibit number 1, which is that report 3. And so this is what Ann Taylor had to file when she was saying, hey, our motion in limine is like, what's going on here? These expert disclosures aren't in. How long are we going to let them just fuck around? Here is item 6, reference oral sample from Connor Chestnut. And then item 7, DNA extract from item 6. Conclusions. They made the STR profile from a portion of item 6. A male DNA profile was developed from item 6. All items have been returned to the main laboratory evidence vault for return to the submitting agency. The descriptions, conclusions, and interpretations stated above applied to the samples or samples as received. And then guess what we get? This is on 12/14/2022, right? Well, here's the 12/12, the evidence tape. Yep, there was the initials. Yep, manila envelope. Item 2, Chestnut buccal swab. Suspect name, Connor Chestnut. Suspect name, Connor Chestnut. Suspect. I mean, not subject, you guys, but suspect. See it right there. So as stuff is being unsealed and revealed, we're seeing that, as Ann Taylor has always stated, right? Well, there's a lot of suspects, or at least they gave that definition that Connor Chestnut was a suspect. So Connor Chestnut, note all screening notes performed 12/12, notes reviewed and approved. Okay, 12/13. Okay. And then guess what we get? A whole lot of nothing. Look at that. See this? What is this? Oh, it's redacted. So the rest of that document is redacted. Then we get to go all the way here, which is right about Maybe a couple more. We're going to go to Exhibit 2. And Exhibit 2 is... Okay, so that's redacted. Okay. Exhibit 2 is a Federal Bureau of Investigation. This is what you would call an official record from Philadelphia. I believe this is Tanzola, but I don't know. See the date here, 1/13/2025. Like, what is going on here? So Ann Taylor is using this to show that we have reports, and these are well after the deadline. These are well after the deadline of when you're supposed to be getting stuff in and over to us for like discovery, you know, hello. So here they decided that, you know, this is the date that it was written as 1/13/2025. And what is this for? Well, this is for Brian Christopher Kohlberger's. It says Brian Christopher Kohlberger, subject. Subject. So the FBI just considered Brian Kohlberger a subject. Look at that. Subject. Moscow Police Department assistants. Ethan. Look at. Again, they're assisting in extortion. On November 29th, 2024, the Philadelphia Regional Computer Forensic Laboratory was requested to an additional copy of and an image of the Acer laptop. They wanted to go back at the laptop. This additional forensic image was to be provided to the two subject matter experts, right? Okay. This request was completed and a technical report was completed by this CFL, and that report is maintained in the, does that say A1 section, not AI, but A1 of this report. See that report of examination for additional details. A copy of this report was provided to the investigative team. Well, what do you mean to the investigative team? So, I mean, these are what we need to use if we are trying to get information from the city of Moscow. See right here? To the investigative team, all the copies of all of this shit. What's up, Miss Potts, motherfucker? Hope everyone is doing well. Popped in to say hello. Everyone is doing great, but guess who is not? Trolls. They are just so fucking hot and bothered by our sexy, steamy selves, Miss Potts. I got a flashback of, wow, when people are not allowed to drink Lana's bathwater, what the fuck happens? Oh, shit, man. These liars. Okay, talk about somebody creating like 5, 6, 7, 10 accounts. Bella sniffed that shit out like white on rice. She's like, look at these thirsty fucks. I said, yeah, talk about thirsty fucks. Here's some bathwater, bitch. Cool down, ho. Yeah. Slurp it up. Anyways, Miss Potts, how the fuck are you? I know you be working. So, again, welcome to the transparency. We keep it real as fuck. If you don't like it, get the fuck out. Suck on my motherfucking titties and my bell. Oh, Lana. What's up, girl? I'm not a fan of the mean-spiritedness. Like, why? I don't know who would ever be mean-spirited. You know? Okay, back at it over here. Right here. Philadelphia Regional Computer Forensic Laboratory. Technical report. Special agent. Oh, FBI Salt Lake City. Who the fuck is this? November 29th, 2024. Would love to know that name. Anyways, the items submitted, this report will only cover the following items. So here's your items. QPH1 _1, 2, 3, okay. 4, 5, and then HP5, and then _1. Now we're dealing with an Acer laptop. We're dealing with a Samsung 256 gigabytes SSD model, blah, 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 blah. We're dealing with the, that's external hard drive, 1 terabyte hard drive. We're dealing with, what is this? A hard drive. And then what's number 1? Samsung cell phone. Okay. Again, Ann Taylor's pointing out the years, the dates, and what was being like dug back into. Oh, QPH6 is back on up. We have a 6 thing here, and it's the year make 2015 Hyundai. Evidence number not available. It's interesting. Anyways, on November 29th, 2024, Special Agent Blank of the FBI Salt Lake City requested a forensic examination be conducted on the submitted digital evidence. Excuse me? You guys are just doing this when? On November 29th, 2024, Special Agent Blank, I don't care who he is, but he's from the FBI Salt Lake City. So what we can do is we can take like a little pool and we can narrow it down, okay, to just this is Salt Lake City person. So make that note. Then this is a follow-up request. So somebody's requesting that. Who did it? Special Agent Blank requested that a copy of the image be provided to Blank or Blank for their review. The examination was conducted between December 2nd, 2024 and December 3rd, 2024. You don't know? The evidence was successfully processed in accordance to the request. The image of the QPH5_1 was copied onto a Samsung USB drive labeled. Boom. The USB drive contained a verified forensic image. I'm going to tell you why this is important. An archive of this case was not created as the archive is still maintained in this one. 23-157. Use that. Okay. Then, after the examination, the EPH1 was entered into the evidence control and will be turned over for review. There was no original evidence to return to the evidence control for this request, as this was a follow-up request. Meaning, like, we wanted you to do it, like, this is the first time you're doing it. No archive was created for this case, as the original archive, is retained at the Philadelphia. And so this has everything to do with the phones. Remember how it's originated out of Philly? Jeff Tanzola. Examination and administrative documentation have been placed in the case file and will be maintained at the Philadelphia RCFL. Like, so Ann Taylor has to, or her people have to say, okay, for this request, Ann Taylor was requesting something. And it's because of Ann Taylor's request that you guys are going to see that this then even happened, meaning that it didn't exist until Ann Taylor asked for it. Okay, so, well, Lana, what was she asking for? Well, here, we're going to show you. So Ann Taylor laid this all out, and these are her samples. And then she goes, remember I told you there was 1, 2, 3 exhibits. Exhibit 1, 2, 3 in support of motion limine, RE vague and the vague expert shit. So this is state's response to defendant's 8th and 9th supplemental request for discovery. So I'm like, yay, this is what I've been asking for and waiting for. Like each time we get a little bit more of the onion back. Well, guess what the latest thing is you guys know that I want all 25, 1 through 25 supplemental requests that Ann Taylor was making. Why? Because then we're going to get into the mindset. If we put these in order, once we, get them all, we got to then redo it and put them all in order. We're going to be able to see how Ann Taylor navigated this case in what she deemed was important and when she deemed it was important, or when she found out about something that therefore then she realized, okay, based off of that information, that I know there's more information to go get this way. And so then you're going to be able to see the way that Ann Taylor was navigating this case. And you have to remember that Ann Taylor was navigating this case with the help of who? Her client, right? Well, it's a possibility, right? If you're going to be asking your client any questions, if you're going to include your client, in on his case. So Jesse, what's good, motherfucker? Can you tell us if she is dirty or not? Ann Taylor? You mean if she bathes? So let's see what Ann Taylor was interested in. This is the defendant's motion limine. This is exhibit number 3. And so this was the response. So here we're going to kind of work backwards a little bit. So the state incorporates the following responses as fully set forth at this point. So what you want to do is you want to write down all these dates. January 23rd, 2023. February 21st, 2023. March 29th, 2023. And they all signify something. This is the second supplemental dump, first, the third. So like all those dates, okay? And so then we get to, voila, the 8th and 9th. And I love that it's Ashley Jennings that did it. Okay, exhibit number 1. Remember, this is what we could never ever see. We'd always get the filing and we would never see what the exhibit was, which gave us our numbers. And so it's like, okay, here we are. So the defendant's 8th supplemental discovery request is exhibit G. So guess what the 8th starts off on? The 8th starts off with what it seems and appears to be the state's responses are provided in blue. So it seems like it starts off with the number 202. So that means from supplementals 1 through 7, they're going to be through requests 1 all the way to 201. Everybody see why that would be? Because this exhibit is defendant's 8th supplemental discovery, okay, request, and it's picking up and starting at number 202. So we would know at this point, Ann Taylor has made specifically 201 requests, of which some we know, but the majority we do not. So we get a little peel back of this onion. And so it's like, okay, here we go. Now, what was the date of this? When was this filed? The date, the 24th of October 23rd. This is literally right as Cy Ray is signing on and signing his confidentiality to come onto this case was in October of 2023. Tom Slavinsky talked to Cy Ray October of 2023. So make a note that everything to do with this case beginning with the 8th supplemental is right there in that time frame of Tom Slavinsky / Cy Ray, coming on board. Tom and Cy Ray basically coming on board in October of 2023. What's up, motherfucking criminality? Spilling the tea here for you. I was waiting to see that name. Again, thank you to my sponsors. This live today is sponsored in part by Homage, Twisted Tea, aka Put It in Your Mouth, and the third is the Moderators, where every day you do not have to worry about these motherfucking people losing their titties or the dicks because, God forbid, Atlanta didn't give me enough love. So, Twisted Tea, yes. If Criminality cannot get Twisted Tea to be a sponsor, she sucks. Just kidding, T. Typically tipsy and unique. Love it. Love that you're here. Who doesn't love a good? This is peach. They started doing flavors. Peach, baby. Cheers. Nothing but the hits. Nothing but the motherfucking hits. Okay. So just ballparking you guys on when this was. Number 202. Now we know that she only provided this whole thing but Ann Taylor is being really specific with her filings. And she's like, I'm not filing anything partial. So she was taking the entire document. She wasn't just taking these little clips, because then guess what? Then he's going to say like, well, what the fuck? This isn't in its entirety. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't if you're Ann Taylor. But the purpose of this filing, we're just going to go to 211 really quick and we're going to come back. So 211 is what she stated was the purpose of this exhibit. Here it is. all audio recordings, video recordings, notes taken, measurements taken, identification of all persons present, and a list all props used during the quote unquote timed runs conducted at 1122 King by law enforcement. So what does this have to do about? We're going to talk about the fact that there is no fucking way in hell you are going to allow anybody to say that we went to the house, we have a stopwatch, we have officer or special crime scene tech, Talbot, we have Payne, and who else was there flapping their jaws? And guess what? We were just timing things and running through the house and faking stabbings and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So here it is. That's what they're asking for. The state has been informed the following items do not exist. Now, do you know what Cy Ray just fucking told us in an interview? Who wants to fall over? Does anybody want to fall over? Now, if you're just joining me, tomorrow I will have on live in studio Chris Whitcomb in the house. Yeah. Chris Whitcomb, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're on the West Coast, just get up by 11 a.m. and you can join us. I try to make it, I think that's a really good time for anybody and everybody that watches my channel. Because even if you're at work, you can listen. Okay. So we got Chris Whitcomb back on the house, 2 p.m. tomorrow. Now, in Cy Ray's interview, I don't know which one, but he said that there was video of this, of the reenactment. The state has been informed the following items do not exist: audio recordings, video recordings, notes, measurements, a list of props used. The identification of all individuals present is detailed in Detective Gilbertson Supplemental 194. So right here, you can go ahead and, hey, you have Supplemental 194. Everything that we know about that is right there, which we have. And they're letting them know, hey, it's Bates page, discovered on 10/12/2023. Now, sit the fuck down. Do you guys understand that Ann Taylor just received in 2023, not till October 12th of 2023? That's when she received Supplemental 194. See that right there? Bates page, because that's the supplemental. Then it was discovered. What that means is that's the state trying to tell you that's when we discovered it. That means that's when it was turned over by police officers to us to be then discoverable to then give to you guys, aka the defense. That's how this works. You should want to fall over when hearing this. So Ann Taylor does not get Supplemental 194, and it's no way that it could be in her hands prior to 10/12/2023. This has been filled out and provided on 10, I think it was 10/24/2023. Remember how I told you guys, I was like, hey, it was really amazing how we received the discovery. Like, here's reports 1 through 314. Ann Taylor didn't receive it like that. Basically, when a thumb drive would occur or be given to Ann Taylor, or if they uploaded something to some online server, there would just be like a bunch of file folders. Think about getting like a USB and you plug it into your computer and it pops up. Okay. And then I go and I look. Thank you so much there, Raging Cajun Girl. Whoop, whoop. You know what? I'm going to shake a bell for you. I know people get jealous of this thing. Come on down, girl. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Appreciate you. Bella, if you're watching, throw on subscriber mode. I didn't put it in subscriber mode. It should be subscriber mode. It should be. It's not? What the hell is going on around here, Lana? It should be on subscriber mode. I'll take a gander. I'll take a look here. Let's see. I heard that you were feeling ill, headache, fever, and the chill. I came to help restore your luck because I'm the nurse who likes to. Oh, no, I didn't. Here you go. There's that. It didn't do a lot of things, actually. We'll go like this. We'll go like this, like this, like this. There you go. Okay, perfect. Thanks you so much, Carson, for just letting me even know that. I was just letting anybody up in this motherfucker. It's a friends only zone, right? Okay. Now, what was I saying? We'll just get back to here. So Ann Taylor was given this information, or Ann Taylor could only, the prosecution is acting like, this is what sucks about these motherfuckers. They're acting like, hey, well, this wasn't turned over to us until 10/12/2023. No, you guys were involved in this thing from the beginning. You know exactly what was going on. You know, they were doing these, you know, get on 4 and bark like a dog, go in there and run in and do a little sample testy. Let's see if we can do this in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But we all know what that report is, 194. That's Gilbertson writing down that we were counting out loud how many stabs, and, you know, then Talbot's counting and Payne is keeping his watch, you know, and I'm over here going at my pace, and here I'm going at a faster pace. Here I'm going at a slower pace, you know? So just a joke, but clearly Ann Taylor's over here. We're not allowing, you're not going to truly allow this to occur in a courtroom, right? That Detective Gilbertson can testify to basically doing a crime reenactment. And we have, look at this shit. This wasn't no fucking scientific anything. This is a bunch of bullshit. This timed runs on how long it would take for you to kill somebody. 4 victims and all the stab wounds and where they were. Bullshit. Like, what a joke, right? And here's Hitler. Remember what Hitler's looking at when he sees this. I'm going to allow it. Allow what? He doesn't even know what he's allowing. It's ridiculous. Okay. But anyways, that's what that's for. But hey, since we have this amazing shit, let's take a look. Ready? So we're going to go back up to, oh my God, you're right, Lana. We have all 200 from 201. So let's see. So 202, I'm sorry. Guess what? The iPhone extraction from Kaylee's closet. That's what they were wondering. Like, where's that extraction? Well, it was later determined that it was Emma, her friend Emma Tiger's phone. And Emma has since been married, so that's not even her last name anymore. The state has complied with this request. And look, it was discovered on 10/5/2023. It's like they just act like we didn't even know. Like we just got it from the police. And so that's what that means. And here we're giving it to you, and we gave it to you on 10/5/2023. Oh, thank you so much. And it just means that. So next, the iPhone extraction for Xana's phone. What? The iPhone extraction for Xana's phone, as referenced in Fox's supplemental report 235. Ann Taylor's over here like, we don't have this. The state has given that to you, meaning that we just gave it to you right now. We could basically, you're right, you didn't have it when you requested this from us, but we have since given it to you. Do you see this? So they didn't have on 10/5/2023, Xana's phone as referenced in Fox's supplemental report 235. Now, copies of all digital image files in their original format, which means you're raw. However it came originally, like, we need all of this. We need it taken by all officers, investigators, forensic personnel, and agents during the course of their investigation. Copies of all digital image files. To date, most of the images provided through discovery have been converted to a PDF format. which is of lower resolution, poor image quality, and lacking in the metadata information embedded in the original file. Like, we have no meta, including all photo logs associated with the requested images. The state has provided 13,407 photographs to date. That wasn't what we're not, that has nothing to do with shit. You see how they just have to come out and say that? We're not saying that you didn't give us anything, you idiots. We're saying that you gave us that, but we're telling you that you didn't give it to us like this. The state is in the process of gathering the 13,407 files in their original format from multiple agencies for discovery. Due to the large volume of digital images sought, the state will need to request more time to comply with this request. Okay, so 204, not handled. So you'd make a note of that. Then 205. Now, all 2,718 raw data photographs taken by ISP Forensic Services. And I'm like, wait, they only took 2,718. It's saying we believe we are currently missing photos number 3374 all the way to 4468, and then 4505 to 4901, and then 7915 to 8117. So then I said, they're taking, that wouldn't even still make sense. If you add up the missing numbers that are between these numbers, what's that total account for? It should be this. Anyways, only partial photos were provided to defense. See photos numbered in AV80. So that's going to be whatever, you know how when we go and do FOIA requests and they tell us that it was part of AV and whatever number it is, that's how we give them that to go find it in the discovery to then get it for us. So then we can complete the FOIA, then we put it out here to you guys, and there's usually like an AV number. So the defense is saying we only received, only partial photos were provided to defense. See photos numbered in the AV80. So at this point in time, if you wanted to go and see what the defense had in October of 2023, you could find it because it's just everything within that AV80. The state has been informed by the Idaho State Forensic Lab that general crime scene photographs are typically taken as JPEGs. I'm curious about that. However, comparison quality photographs, which is like bloodstains, latent prints, shoes, or tire impressions, are typically taken as RAW. This is a camera setting, RAW. With one click of the camera, a JPEG and RAW image is taken. This results in files having the same photograph number, example 20 for JPEG and 20 at NEF. RAW photos are taken only when comparison quality photographs are needed, since RAW photos take up a lot more space than JPEG photographs. The photographs in AV80 are the RAW photographs taken by the ISP labs. The camera that they use for comparison quality, not all photographs were taken in RAW format. That's why they're trying to explain this discrepancy with why you think that you're missing photographs. The state will be providing JPEGs for ISP lab photographs taken as detailed in the response to 204. Now, what you want to do is you want to cross-reference this. If you were on Ann Taylor's team, you'd want to cross-reference what they just said to the handbook and see if that's how they do things over there at Idaho State Police. Next, Ann Taylor was asking for CVs for Cellbrite employees involved in the analysis of Kohlberger's phone. Guess who that would be? This would be the Barnharts. So the state has complied with this request for Cellbrite employees currently known. And I've only ever known, that's the Barnharts from the state. So the Bates numbers 5251 to 5, from 15256 discovered, look at this, October. Now, work product to include notes, reports, screenshots, results of all testing and any other work product developed by Cellbrite employees. Okay, I have to tell you guys something. For example, I want to put it in perspective for you. When I went through the Cellbrite that the state did in Brian Drake's case. Okay. Each person's phone. So let's just take Brian Drake's phone. Minus he had like 3 of them. Well, let's just take one of them. Okay. What I am doing as I am taking my notes, building how I'm going about seeing what's going on in, people's lives and seeing the timestamps of stuff, you bet your motherfucking ass I'm taking screenshots of whatever it is that I'm looking at that's pertinent. Okay? Like, the thought that I'm going to look at something and go through and not take any notes, not take any screenshots, and be able to build and do what I did for Dan Moore, for that case, it's absurd. I couldn't, what am I going to come out here and tell you guys a story and not produce any receipts? That's absurd. So to think that when I'm working to learning and understanding a case that I'm not going to be doing this, so to see that the state has been informed that this item does not exist, first of all, if that's a fact, how do these people in Cellbrite fucking operate? Remember, when the Barnharts did their interview, they said that they didn't do anything like that. They did. They said that we weren't allowed to do anything. Like, we had to go into a room where we had no internet. Remember all this stuff they did in an interview? Well, I don't think that they're lying. I want to know how successful you can be under those conditions. Because I don't think the Barnharts are lying at all. But they didn't take any notes. They didn't take any screenshots. So, and I remember they had to call a friend, a colleague in the business who was really good with the Samsung phone, because they had some questions because they were looking at stuff, right? And remember, you're not supposed to be doing, I didn't think anything like that, because this was a private case in terms of you have to get permission and everything's under seal and yada, yada, yada. And the thought of me, if I was to go through my phone right now and I was to be asked to turn over my work product for what I did, that same question to me for the Drake case, I have hundreds of papers and hundreds, if not thousands, of screenshots as I'm building out and creating a timeline, because I'm overlapping other phones to see what these other phones are doing and who's communicating with who and what days of the, I'm creating a pattern of life for everybody. And I did that in that case, I did it over the course of not 6 months, not 3 months, not a month. I did it over years to create a pattern. 3 to be exact, if not more. And so to do that and to think that I'm going to go looking for stuff in PDFs of all of these people, Jen Drake, Brian Drake, basically just any device that they collected. I did Stephen Hartman, the guy that was walking that night. Who else did I do? Did they even get anybody else's? Then I cross-referenced it with Brian Drake's patient schedule for the weeks and who he was seeing and stuff like that. Yeah. Anyways, there's just fucking A. To see this right here to me is just mind-blowing, because I just have no idea how somebody could possibly be successful. If I'm not able to take any notes, I have to remember this all from memory And I'm supposed to remember everything by going through Brian Koberger's Cellbrite. Okay. Again, I'm not calling anybody here liars, but you better believe that I'm going to believe the Barnharts every day, all day, over anything that the state is claiming. And I would hope that you would do the same, because they came out and said that they had to work in really weird conditions. Remember that? Now, 208, lab report, bench notes, photos for testing conducted on item 132.1. Now, I guess I could pull out my lab book. It's over there. Does anybody offhand know what item 132.1 is before I got to just go grab that lab book? Well, as detailed in the state's informal discovery response, so this is now an informal. So holy shit, this is the first time that we're getting this. They had informal discovery responses. That means everything that we saw is considered formal. I'm putting it through the courts. Informal discovery, that's when you send somebody an email and you say, hey, I am looking for blank, 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 blank. Do you have this? Can you send this to me? That's informal. So now, with this information, that there's informal discovery requests, I don't even have to say the rest, right? What do you think that this tells Lana? What do you think I'm going to go do? And this was as detailed in the state's informal discovery response sent on September 27, 2023. The state has provided the biology screening for this item as Bates numbers 14630 to 640. So that you're looking at 10 pages. The DNA analysis report has not been received. The state will discover upon receipt. 209, copy of the Moscow Police Department Policy and Procedural Manual. There it is. Woo! Oh shit, Lana. What do you think Aunt Taylor's looking for? Exactly what I just fucking said. You're gonna go and seek what? A copy of the damn manual, the Policy and Procedural Manual. The state has complied with this request and gave it to her here, meaning just, now. Copy of the Idaho State Police Policy and Procedural Manual specifically relating to crime scene procedures. Only the Idaho State Police Laboratory policies are located online. No policy relating to detectives. It's very specific. As detailed in the state's September 27, 2023 informal response discovery. So the informal request was, I need your guys' manual. I need your guys' policy and procedure manual. Idaho State Police Headquarters informed the state. Okay, this is Idaho State Police telling the state, because we're answering this. There is no written policy related to crime scene procedures. What? The non-sensitive policies related to investigations is being discovered on this week's hard drive. The state emailed defense on October 18th, 2023, and is waiting for a response regarding the sensitive policies. These are very sensitive materials. So you can't find that type of stuff that's written like that. And I'm just like, wait a second, let's back up. What this means is I don't want people running, okay, and not understanding what this means. So, again, Ann Taylor does exactly what I would have done. You need to get this so that you can show that these people aren't following their own policies and procedures, okay? You have to even first see if they're violating it. Next, she's saying that all it says here is copy of Moscow Police Department policy and procedures. Where does it say anything about Idaho State Police? Well, 210. 210 moves on. She wanted the copy of the Idaho State Now, I want you, if you do not believe me, do you know what I was covering in October of 2023 on my channel? And what I put out there for the whole world to see? Anybody remember? You can't make this shit up. No wonder why people thought Ann Taylor was my fucking source. I put out the fucking Idaho State handbook. I said there's going to be hella issues here. Because we could see where this is headed. Once I found out in March of 2023 that we were looking for training records, this is how I found the Moore case. I saw specifically 2 people's names. I started doing hella Google research. I started researching, and I started doing, myself and Bella started doing hella FOIA requests out and not in anything to do with this case, but a completely other different case. Like, sheesh. Go check out my channel. Look at what we were discussing. Anyways, Ann Taylor was on it. As detailed in the state's September 27, 2023 informal response to discovery, Idaho State Police Headquarters informed the state there is no written policy related to crime scene procedures. The non-sensitive policies related to investigations is being discovered on this week's hard drive, so she's going to get that policy and procedurals manual, the one that we pretty much put out. The state emailed defense on October 18, 2023, and is waiting for a response regarding the sensitive policies. So the non-sensitive shit, but I want this. I want the sensitive policies. If anybody can get our hands on that and wants to send me a tip, by all means, come on down. And let's talk about these tips for a second. Welcome to Truth and Transparency. I have said this before, but I'm going to say this again for people in the back seat, people on the way back. Okay. Tips, AKA information regarding material, in this case, can be sent to my email. Now, this does not mean that I sometimes don't even see it. But oh, God. Let me give you guys an example. If I have 7 people over the course of a 48-hour period send me the same material, let's say, just a different form of it or however, but it's the same material. 7 different people from different accounts, let's just put it that way. I shouldn't even say different people. Different accounts, okay? If I immediately write off that it's just not, like I'm not interested, whatever. But let's say it's the same material. 7 different emails from 7 different, like, specific email addresses. My normal question to you will be, where did you get this? That's the first thing I ask. Where did you get this? Where did you get the information? Like, where did you get this material? That's number 1. If I'm interested in something that you sent and I actually saw it, where'd you get it from? If I can already tell where it came from, but let me see how else I want to word this. Okay, 7 different accounts sent it to me. People don't get back to me. Some do, about my question, which is, where'd you get it from? Who you think I'm going to listen and care and try to track down? I need to track down if it's I got to vet it. If you're giving me a fucking police report That's it. Just a police report. Where'd you get it? Do I think that it's authentic? 7 different people sent it to me. I'm supposed to go around and ask, who the fuck FOIA'd that shit? What? The fuck? For the record, I need to know who FOIA'd that. No, I'm sorry. Shit. It happens every few and far between. But no, sorry. I vet things to see if they are credible. I do not watch people's channels or whatever it is. When people, TikTok, are you fucking kidding me? I do not even get on TikTok. When people have to send me something on TikTok, do you know how like it just like goes to like the different thing that you weren't even like sending to that person or something? Like, and I'm like, what is this? Like, this isn't even the Idaho4 case. Like, this can't be what you sent me. Fucking A, man. But if 7 different emails came my way with the same material, what do you think I'm immediately thinking? That this might be the same fucking person. Okay? That this may be the same person. That's even to say that I saw all the material. Fucking trolls be trolling. Thanks. What's up, Moon? What's up, Moon? So if you're out there trolling, and if you're out there because you want, because I'm going to lay this motherfucking straight up, a woman or a man, or I have no idea who it is. I have never spoke to the karmic channel. The reason I can say that with 100% confidence is because that channel, I put it out there, emailed me, I guess July twice, and then once in August. I have never opened up an email from that channel as the receipts showed. But do you know that what that channel is claiming was sent to me by multiple people that I believe is the same person, because they are fucking shitbag crazy. And all they wanted to do, I guess, they didn't want no fucking here. Woo! What great work you did. What? Because you fucking went and got a FOIA request? No. They've been trying, I guess, to get me to work with them. Hey, can we work together? I have no idea what you're fucking talking about. What? This is Tina with What the Fuck Transition Services? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? If somebody was to email me and tell me that their family would be in danger, do you think at that point I'm ever going to... Why would I ever want information from you, talk to you, do anything when you're over here saying that you're putting your family at risk or any of this crazy ass bullshit? You shouldn't be probably doing any of that shit, because why are you risking your fucking life? But no, that's true. But I'm going to tell you, do you think I'm going to write somebody back that's writing absolute whack shit to me in multiple emails under multiple different names? Do you guys have any idea the lunatics that fucking email me and the trolling that goes on with it? I don't give it any space. I am not interested in it at all. I do not care. If somebody wants to send me something that says, oh, check out a video, do you guys really think that I have time to check out videos? I'm sorry, but I am actually like working like probably 14 hours a day. And I don't go around vetting true crime fucking channels, whatever they're putting. I don't vet their shit. We go out and get material to put together timeline. I mean, whatever it is that we're doing. The information, you don't even know if you have good information because you don't know what the information is. You need somebody that knows the case that can put it all together. For example, I'm going to tell you one of the most ridiculous emails that I received. And you tell me if you would ever engage in this. On July 19th, I received an email. P.S. This is just what it says. P.S. I got the radio logs for that night. I didn't open up this email since like the last 24 hours or whatever, maybe like 48 hours, whatever the hell it's been. Prior to me ever getting this email, to even knew that it existed from this Casa Merriman account. Don't fucking know who the fuck it is. Do not give a fuck. I mean, now I think I know who it is, but the Moscow report, the police report department radio log summary report by day and time that we just put out. Okay. P.S. I got the radio logs for that night because what I did see is, where is this? Okay. I get an email from somebody that I know and trust that sent me a bunch of FOIAs that we've been working on. And in the mix of that was the Moscow Police Department radio report. I say, hey, where'd you get that? From one of your subscribers. They were talking about it in chat. And I said, oh, send that to me. Okay. And then they sent me that. Okay. It's a official radio log from everything that happened. But that was our request, was for 48-hour period for the data. So what I started realizing is this person has been watching my channel. And when I'm letting people know, like, hey, I need to go get, I'm about to go get this. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm doing this because I'm so transparent on my channel. Just like I just told you guys here. I said, what do you think I'm going to do? What do you think my request is going to be right here? This informal discovery response. My request is going to be for the informal discovery responses in the emails. So I'm over here letting you guys know either what I've done or what I'm about to do because my channel is Truth and Transparency. So go and take a look at everything and when I talk about it. What do you think people are doing when I do that? They're going and fucking doing what I've already said I've done or what I'm about to do. And so this was put in by me right here. I don't know that this email ever existed until 48 hours ago, which is on July 19th. I never saw this until, what was the date? August 7th, when I showed it all to you guys. On August 7th, out of the blue, again, this same account that I did not look at the first time, on August 7th, immediately after my live, hey, glad everything worked out for you today with that. Hopefully this is just the beginning. I'd love for us to work together more often. The fuck? This is no big misunderstanding. Wait till I explain to you the level of trolling this is. I'm over here like, hey, I have never talked to this person in my life. Hey, glad everything worked out for you today with that. Hopefully this is just the beginning. I'd love for us to work together more often. What? August 7th. This is what's sent to me. I said, and then I realized I was like, oh, this isn't the first time that this Casa Merriman wrote me. Because on July 19th, and I looked at the 19th, I never even saw this. I was like, what the fuck is this? P.S. I got the radio logs that night. You can't do this with iCourt PDFs, but with this one, I could edit the PDF to delete most of the black squares. Interestingly, the banned field call is logged as some Vandal Drive address. And then once I saw all of this and the way that they were writing, I was like, fucking A. They said, I wonder if some CI, they said to me, I wonder if some CIs live there and tip them off. So on the 7th, I respond to this Casa Merriman account. I said, where did you get this from? Because someone else sent me the same thing. I said, this wasn't requested in a FOIA. I said, like I said, I just need to get my hands on the materials. So if you can help get material, yeah, sure, let me know. But I wanted to know where the fuck you got this from. And because I was given this from somebody else. I said, we need all of Ann Taylor's requests, supplemental discovery requests. She was on the right path until, I don't know, someone got her off that path. The summaries are me talking about these supplementals. We need all 400 and some. This is this person that wrote me out of the blue, never saw it, August 7th. Then after I got off my live, basically saying, hey, glad everything worked out for you today with that. And I'm like, what the worked out? And then I was like, this isn't the person that sent, like, I never saw this shit. So I didn't get the information from you with right here, with what I put out. And this was one of the things that we FOIA'd. And so I immediately say, where did you get that from? Because somebody else had already, and I say, right after it, I said, thank you, by the way. Thank you, by the way. Then, what's today? August 9th. What's today? Yesterday? August 9th. So I requested it from Moscow City, which is, I guess, the answer to my where did you get this from? Because someone else sent this to me. So I requested this from Moscow City. It was fully redacted. But if you have a PDF app that lets you edit object, you can actually just drag the black boxes away and reveal what's underneath. Pretty sneaky, right? Question mark. Yeah. One of your chatters asked me to send it to her first, but I later sent it directly to you. And so this is proving everything that I just wrote this fucking hoe, whoever the fuck this is, right? They said, your last request I didn't request anything. Your last request for Ann's supplemental request sounds about as complicated as it sounds. What? Could you give me an example of how you'd word a request like that? Question mark. I'm fully committed to helping you with this, especially if it means we get to work together. Finally. What? I said, Ada County, it needs to redact. I said, needs to redact Ann Taylor's supplemental request for discovery. They fell within 25 filed motions over the years. The 25 motions featured information she was seeking. So we need the exhibits that were filed with Ann Taylor's 25 supplemental requests. I said, that's how one would request it. I said, we might be able to give this request to Bill Thompson's office and he give us all 450 plus individual requests that Ann asked for. Those requests are vital to see where Ann Taylor's headspace was during this investigation and trial prep. Hey, great job on the revealing the redaction portion. Awesome and smart. That's my response to this person, who is the same person as Karmic Retribution, or whatever the fuck channel that is. Because you want to know how I know that? Because today, at 3:35, when this person was losing their fucking load all over the internet, they couldn't help but fucking, I'm going to use this Casa Merriman to get over here. And then this is what she writes me today, or whoever the fuck this is, as I have no idea. Brian's sister responded to, and then she wants to call Jules a name. Brian's sister responded to Jules, I've made numerous low-key offers to Ann Taylor and Brian's family. What? Who the fuck is this? Who is saying that they're writing me saying, I've made numerous low-key offers to Ann Taylor and Brian's family. So I'm wondering why they don't utilize platforms like ours. Who the fuck are you? Ours? Platforms like ours, bitch. What? Platforms like who? I don't talk to people that don't talk in their, like, what's your name? We, ours, what? Who? Who the fuck is this? Realistically, we're never going to get those 25 requests you're alluding to. And this is when I realized this person has no fucking clue what they're talking about. Those 25 requests are coming out. This is a troll, and it may be 2 people that are working a channel. Now, but if Brian really is playing 4D chess here, I'm trying to understand how he could have access to this ridiculous name that they're calling Jules, but somehow not you, me, or hell, even Pavarotti. Thoughts? I don't have any thoughts on this garbage. I write back and I say, what's your platform? Question mark. YouTube? Question mark. Because I at that point, I know who this is. Stop projecting, they write me at 412. Well, they're online writing all this crazy shit. I just asked, what's your platform, YouTube? Like, and then what they did is they realized, oopsies, you used the wrong account to message me because you answered it, stop projecting. I said, how many alts you rolling with, freak? And then they said, again, calling Jules a ridiculous name. They're like, it's okay to say it, saying they want me to say this name out loud about Jules. And I said, do not email me again. This is unwanted contact, and now you've been put on notice. Clock it, bitch. If you think that these type of people are good for the community, people that create little fucking channels that they want to call channels or whatever the fuck they want to call it, and make little weird ass fucking videos like Translucent did and wanted to act like she was Dylan Morton's sister and all this crazy ass bullshit. There is no fucking place for any of this shit. This person who runs that channel and multiple other ones literally coming at me with 9, 10 different fucking emails, trying to get my attention, writing the most off the wall shit. And wanting to tag everybody and pour my bullshit. This person did nothing other than write a request to a police department for a report. You show me where there's a fucking video of this person taking that report and putting it with the fucking Detective Mowry report 59. This person, I never even opened up any of their emails ever, not once. That channel, whatever the fuck that shit is called. And I showed you guys the proof because it literally shows on my phone. I did not even ever open this person's email. But this person, do you know how many fucking emails I get from people that say that they live in the area or people that say that they know blah, blah. Like, dude, I don't give a fuck about your woes me stories. I do not care. I do not want your fucking emails. Fuck you and your fucking emails. Take them, sit and spin. I do not care. I do not want your shit. Your shit means nothing unless somebody knows the case and puts it together with the other fucking material. This is not, I don't think that's not who I'm talking about. The person I am talking about is Karmic, whatever the fuck the channel is. And the channel sounds like it's the van life person. The person that fucking it was with it's got a little mix of translucent. Who's this accomplished channel? Accomplished Day. Who's that? Yeah, there it is. Karmic Retribution channel. Who's the accomplished channel? Accomplished Day. Who's that? Who is that who is literally firing off AI FOIAs? One after another, after another, after another, after another. Who is that? Who is loading up? Who's that channel? Who is it? Yeah, because I wouldn't give this person my time. This wasn't because I didn't give them a shout out, because I did give them a shout out. And I don't ever follow chat. Everybody knows that. I'm presenting the information. And then I want you to use your own brains to take the information and think what you want with it. Now, at the end of the day, this is what fucking happens with this. These are little fucking AI people that want to fucking have these little fucking videos that are like 3 minutes, okay? I want nothing to do with any of this shit. I don't need it. I don't want their information. Okay? You should not be interested in anybody that's going to try to have a woes me party. A woes me party. It's called trolling. So I put out the truth and the only reason I brought it up is because of safety. This person is out there talking about how they are not safe. They are a fucking liar. They are a liar. And you want me to call out their lies? Here you go. Lana, what are you about to do? Well, let's just call up. Let's just call up Walla Walla. Yeah. This person is freaking out and flipping out because they went and made some requests and got some fucking report from Walla Walla. And it's the report that we can't do everything every second of the day. So nice that you went and got that. Great. But show me where they took the Walla Walla report and they did a video with Detective Mowry's report 59. Show me that. Because that's the only thing that's gold with it. Anybody that's talking about the Walla Walla report and reads it, you have no idea what it means. You know how I know this? Because I talked to fucking Steve G about it. And he has no clue. And I had to explain it. That this is what this all means. Report 59 and the Walla Walla report. You put them side by side. Okay? What Mowry is claiming in his report 59 is absolutely 1000% contradicted by what is said in Walla Walla's report for the phones. You have to break all that stuff down. If you do not know that Mowry wrote that fucking report up, report 59, and how he said it and why he said it and everything that was going on, then you couldn't do what? Then the Walla Walla report means nothing. Curious Cat, I think you made a nice comment, I thought, right? Let's see, Curious Cat. Let me see your comment over there. Let's take a look here. Lana's just going to have some fun. Let's see if Lana's right. Okay. Let's see how many posts we got here. Fucking psycho. Okay, 17 hours ago. What a crazy person. 17 hours ago, she makes a post, this karmic retribution. Always takes a female to get shit done. Yeah, Lana, ring her own bell at 9:02. Rings her own bell. Strange. My live about my click helps hide Keely's phone. That's about Detective Mowry. Because it sure did take a female to get shit done. If you could feel a smack through a live, that was her attempt to do that to me. And I won't play dumb about it. Exactly my point in check. This person is an absolute fucking sociopath. Watching bigger creators totally shit on and take credit for a small channel's work and yet claim it to be such a bombshell in the case. Find without giving proper attribution is the most petty character and wildly arrogant. This person, I don't even think they're fucking from the United States. I've never heard anybody talk like this ever. They do not finish a sentence to save their lives. How is this? Is the most petty character and wildly arrogant. That's a sentence? That disrespect is loud. Damn, broken heart. You must have really needed that credit, Lana. Even though we, in fact, did produce that work. What the fuck? Also, it's not TC. It's Karmic Retribution TC. Put some respect on our name, and you're welcome. The audacity is real. Your fucking psychopathic lunatic abilities in life, they're well noted here. In the community, yeah. So she says, that's 17 hours ago. Then she starts tagging me, which meaning that all of you guys get to see this stupid shit because it cycles through my algorithm, which goes to you guys because you're members of my channel or you're subscribers of my channel. And it's going to infiltrate your fucking, I've dealt with trolls and fucked them up in a courtroom numerous times. At Truth and Transparency, fucking with my algorithm to put this bitch's shit in here. Or it's a guy, who the fuck even knows? I don't know why you felt the need, because I didn't even respond to this shit. I do not know this person. I do not know anything about them. I do not watch their channel, nothing. And they were actually in my live, and I was over here saying, oh, was it you that posted it? Because I never came out and claimed that I did that for you. And people were in here saying, like, what are you talking about? She totally gave you credit. Because I did. But it's never been about that. This person wants to work with me, be in my inner circle. They're lunatic, Lulu, like Dululu. This is not about credit. This is troll-esque. After the transparency, I don't know why you felt the need to stomp all over us. So disrespectful. Imagine having 74,000 subscribers and refusing to credit a super small creator. You're not a super small creator. You are not a creator. Go live, show your face, say your name. Imagine having 74,000 subscribers and refusing to credit a small creator who actually brought this new critical find bombshell. You know what I do on my channel? I go right to the person's, whoever has the video. I go right to them, click on their shit, tell you to subscribe and like. Or I don't even tell you to do that because I don't really tell people to do anything. I suggest it to go get the video here. You can see this here. You can see that there. And I go straight to the person's channel. I pull it right in front of everybody. Oh, if they have, then that should even show you more that I don't fucking watch them. This person thought that this was all going to be great. This is going to backfire horribly for them. The bombshell is not the wall of fucking report, everybody. That report means nothing unless you know how to utilize the report with the information that this whole entire case comes from. Yes, Melissa, that's exactly what I do. You want to know why? Because I don't have to agree with how you do whatever. But the day that I will not respect your work, that'd be a slap into the face that what any of us do then with this platform. And that's the most important thing. Your new business partner, yeah. This is lunatic shit. This is fucking crazy. No. What? Listen, if you are sending information for any other reason than for the pure reason to want to help or do whatever, if you're whatever your expectations are, if that's why you're doing something, please do not send me anything. YouTube is right here for you. If what you have is that hey, oh my God, look at what go get yourself some motherfucking credit. Go get whatever the fuck you want from it. But think about that. Go do whatever it is that you're doing. Go do whatever it is that you're doing. Or go do whatever it is that you're not doing that you really want to do. Go do it. Do not bring it this way because I do not want it. And I made it a point to say is I will not even reveal my source who actually supplied me with something. Because in all of this, they got used too. They were like the big person that got used here. Because this person was all just like, no, I just wanted to get to Lana. I just wanted to get to Lana. Fucking whack. Go use your fucking rabbit, bitch. Or go buy one. Can I get you one? We'll send it to you. Unbelievable. For somebody to write literally paragraphs about something like this and to say all the things that this person is about to say, this is somebody that's had so much pent up whatever that they couldn't just wait to try to troll the situation. And so this person has been around for a very long time. I believe that this person, there's more than one person. And at the end of the day, they're not part of the community because nobody does this. And in all the comments that I've seen, everybody is like, this person runs around and maybe they need to be medicated. Maybe that's the problem here. Mental health is real. So maybe this person needs to just come clean about their mental health struggles. And if that's the case, maybe we can help them. But I am not going to sit back and watch this shit. Okay? Go be a snowflake somewhere the fuck else. I am not interested in it, and nobody here is. These other creators, they feel the same way. Because anybody that's trying to divide people, I have no problem confidently saying that nobody's going to be a fan of that. And so listen to this absolute ridiculousness. She says, or he, I have no idea who it is, like you got that gold. This is what they say. Instead, you claimed it as your own find. I didn't claim shit as my own find. Putting it all together, fuck yeah, I claim that. All delivered it in the wildest way. So the night that I did my live, I guess I delivered it to you guys in the wildest way. Like you got that gold. All while literally ringing your own bell, screaming out loud, yeah, Lana, like you just killed the game all yourself, like the GOAT, right? The 1-2 egotistical to be honest about the real resource. I don't know who the real resource is because you come at me probably with 13 fucking accounts. And fucking for all we know right in here, you're fucking 15 people in here. So you're goddamn right, I would have no idea who the fuck the real person is. You're absolutely right. Okay. Fucking lunatic. You act so high above like you cannot see the real one putting it in here. The fuck? Sure. Can't even say our name. Our name. Who is our name? Who the fuck is R? Sure. Can't even say our name. Only giving us the TC end of it, knowing damn well no one would clock whose name that could ever be or who we were off that or our channel credit. This is the fucking sentence I'm reading as is. This person is seeing red. At least we put some respect on our fucking name. At least put some respect on our fucking name and work. It's karmic retribution, motherfucker. Retribution TC. It's karmic retribution TC. You know the page you came to take said information from. The fuck? I've never been on your page. Sorry. Busy. You know, to take that information. It's foul, Lana. But I'm realizing there are far too many self-centered vultures out here. This wasn't Lana brains. This was karmic retribution TC's brain. Broken heart, brain, fucking make, 2 snap fingers. The problem is that this wasn't just another FOIA request from a random creator. The fuck yeah, it was. You're right. It was from a fucking lunatic. She says, or he says, I don't know. I put my dedication to this case completely on the line. Do you understand that when I went and looked at this channel, they had just started a channel in June of 2025, the month right before the plea deal is happening? What? I don't ever read shit like this off. I put my dedication to this case completely on the line, including risking my own family's privacy. And you took that. How the fuck did I take your family's privacy? What are you smoking, girl or boy? I have no idea who this person is. This is what you call gaslighting fake rage. I put my dedication to this case completely on the line, including risking my own family's privacy, and you took that. Why did I put myself through all of that, Lana? ? So you could swoop in, take credit, and slap me in the face with my titties? I just added the titties part. So you could just slap me in the face with my own discovery? The very discovery you are out shouting is breaking in this case? You guys... You took it. What? A public records request is now what? Oh my God. Wait, what is this collected? Okay. Then she says, for being such a goat, in quotes, to act like you collected all this info in your own finding and work, yet can't say a single name who really sourced it. Your copy was my literal copy off my page. Bottom, my name cut out at the line. What line? Didn't I show a print version of it? Did I print it off and show it off my Hector? I do so many fucking, I don't even know what version of it. It's wild to me how you really went and did that, ringing your own bell and all. Whoa, chick. The audacity. Then she says, this was my hometown. Where? This is my hometown, my digging, and my family on the line. How is your family on the line for you doing a fucking public request? Ready? She said, my damn uncle is chief of police at Walla Walla PD. You know what? We're about to call and ask. And I want to know if you are in danger, sir. This person, when no one listened, no one went and attempted. I tried telling others it was going to be something there to it. No one listened. So I filed the FOIA myself. Well, thanks for getting off your fucking ass and putting in the public request. I'm going to put a wellness check in. So I filed the FOIA myself. I know this culture here, the signs. What are you talking about? I knew what I knew. Oh, you knew what a sentence. I knew what I knew. Weird. And fucking put my family's private business out there. What are you talking about? You put your family's business out where? Where? We risked our safety and privacy for this case, and that's why I made the post. That's the only reason why I made the post. How damn fucking dare you use my fucking channel and put me in on this crazy ass shit, and you think that I'm gonna, when you wrote, we risked our safety and privacy for this case only to have another creator suppress us and steal our work? If you put this out fucking 8 days ago, let's all put a timeline together because I know people here can. If she put all of this out so fucking long ago and I stole it all, so she outed her own family and she put her name on some public records request. And who's writing all this stuff right here? She did. She doxed herself. She did. Me, and then she says, me and Jordan. Who the fuck is Jordan? Me and Jordan figured out that loophole outside Moscow, not Atlanta. What loophole outside Moscow? What are you talking about? Because it's my hometown. We live here and knew what's at play immediately. For someone to act like such a goat investigator, you sure acted like you saw us at all. What? It's plain mean and disrespectful. No, you're fucking nuts. And guess what I'm calling right now? I cannot call live because Washington, I'm not allowed to record. It's not about me. It's about the fact that she chose to steal it. Steal what? Touch your fucking toes. What are you talking about, man? Nobody stole shit from you. You were in here in my fucking, probably in my goddamn DMs, but I have that shit all locked down. Fucking woes me, begging me, fucking me. Lana, can you give me some bath water? I'm so fucking... I'm really hurt by how foul this was. This is all lies. So I immediately comment. And I say, this is not true at all. That's all I did was give you credit, first of all. Why are you making false claims? Question mark. Lana, no false claims. Lana, why do you have to say my name? Lana, you see how psycho this is? This is how she responded. Lana, no false claims. Lana, I've been attempting to speak to you for months, even via email. And I showed, bitch, the fuck, I never opened up any of those. I did not have anything that you saw or gave me or whatever. You are psycho. You portray one thing publicly, but do not actually act as so in character, respectfully, human to human. Calling us TC after the people in chat yelled out as well as myself. You guys, just because you put it in chat doesn't make it true. I learned this a long time ago. I don't just, whatever somebody is saying in chat, I say, oh, that's what it is. Okay. No. How would I even know? Like, what if it wasn't this, whatever you guys were writing in chat that actually did it? You know what I mean? Lana, thanks, Lana. I can't even respond to her stuff to me because she's rambling and it doesn't make any sense. Oh, God. SR Bubbles here. She takes her, whatever your post was, and she just went nuts today. And I was like, you know what? Is this what this person is doing to all these other creators out there? Because I was like, oh, fuck no. We're going to put an end to this right now. This person is a troll. This person is using multiple accounts, and this person is going in and trust me, Translucent's involved in this because they just use this AI shit, and they are making so many public requests, and what they're just doing is they're going through and they're just filing and writing the same thing over and over and over and over and over using like these request now shit. Okay. And yeah, so you stay up and you watch all my work. You see what I'm about to go get. You see what I have that I've already, asked for. And what are you using? You're using you're trying to use people that are actually in Idaho to get the request sooner. I even told her the timestamp, 1 hour and 13 minutes into the front door confirmed open. Yeah. So you gave her a credit and rang the bell for her. She still wasn't having it. Yeah. Because then I realized this has nothing to do with credit. This is all lies. This is all about, I need Lana's attention. Lana. Remember me? I'm one of your psycho fucking crazy people from back in the day, probably. I'm not interested. I do not fuck with stupid people. And this is stupid. And this person is a fucking mess. And this person is dangerous. And dangerous people fuck shit up. This is drama. But this is dangerous. And this has no business being around here. And so that we don't give it air. But why I think it's important, okay, is because she mentions the word public safety and her safety and basically is accusing me of outing her whole fucking family or some shit like that. No, bitch, you did that in your fucking own post. You doxing whore. Lana, listen, put respect on our name. We really even asked you not to blast this that way yet as more was coming. This is my uncle, Lana. How many times are you going to say my name in a post? Lana, my hometown, do you understand? He was not aware. I had a channel. There was far more backdoor actions happening I had access to. I asked you directly, even a mod of yours said, God, I hope she hears you about this karmic. Email her, please. She was in the live firing off shit. This has nothing to do with Jay for Justice. Why are you talking about Jay? Fuck no. This isn't about Jay. No. This is just troll, you guys. This is about trolls. This is trolling behavior. We call it out. This is too much attention for lunatics like this. Exactly the drama they want. Yeah. Lena, don't fuck with crazies. So. No, this got to a level of being, because my email was being flooded with multiple like ridiculousness. So. Man, I agree with others. This sounds more and more like Michelle, the compulsive texter. She gets mad when she feels rejected by you. She keeps changing accounts to stay in the middle of things. At the end of the day, we don't care who it is. We don't care who it is. It's when people like, listen, if you have a channel and you're not willing to, I'm sorry, you want to stay anonymous, then stay in your lane and you will stay anonymous. You want to act like a bunny broiler, then good fucking luck. Don't come in my lane. I will put you the fuck where you belong, period. And we just don't have time for this. But it's important for all of you guys to understand the truth. Believe what you want. I don't give a fuck. But I like a lot of people that are part of my community. They're really good people. They're here for the truth. They don't fuck around with this stuff. And it's my job to make sure that they see this. If I know something, this person is unhinged to the point that it needed to be mentioned. And anybody who is going to do something like this and put their family in jeopardy, she's just making all this up. But anybody that would ever do that, you don't go like that is absolutely just nonsense. But anybody that's going to do that, fuck no. So I always say, where did you get this from? Where did you get this from? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thank you. 10 times saying my name in a response. And so I blocked this person. No more emails. But like I said, they have multiple accounts. And by all means, other creators out there, do as you please, do as you want. But I think what she's saying about Jules is absolutely ridiculous. And I have no problem sharing it with Jules. So if Jules wants that information, I'll be happy to give it to her. So now back over here. So Ann Taylor then goes on to Do Exhibit 2, which is the 9th supplemental discovery request. So 211, I think we just talked about that. And then 212 is the item 836 and item 837, which is 2 DVDs from the Palouse properties as referenced in Blaker's supplemental report. The state has complied, so they put that together on this day because this is the day that we got it. They're trying to say. So clearly they were interested in, look at this. They wanted the vehicles that were all had basically parking permits. Look at when they're asking for this stuff. This is in October of 2023. All audio recordings of contact with all agents of Palouse properties, including but not limited to Blaker's contact with Dan. Look at his name. As referenced in Gilbertson's supplemental report 194. Let's take a look at report 194. Is that the DS? Because this is a new name. Because this person's a fucking quack. And it's bullshit. And it's ridiculous. And there's just no place for it. So the state has been informed that Blaker's contact with Dan was not audio recorded. The state requests reference numbers, Bates, AV files for any other reference to Palouse properties in order to ascertain whether there are any recordings, period. So again, here we have Blaker not doing anything that he is supposed to be doing. Another example of, and I cannot believe that Ann Taylor could not see this pattern. I would have called Blaker, like I would have been using so many people at that motion, all the suppression shit. I would have had hella witnesses. So this is just such a pattern. Such a pattern with Blaker. And that's it. Again, tonight, the Custody Queens and Outcast, they're gonna have Chris on. So tonight I'll be in and out of that. I'll be prepping for my live with Chris to do the questions from our follow-up. Kudos to Chris. Like I told you guys, he told me that he was going to come back on. I bought an extra book back when he first released them. And because I wanted him to sign it and I want to be giving one away. So for tomorrow's presentation, I'll be giving away at least one, if not more than one, signed copy of his book. So if you already have the book, do a solid to the people that I'm going to be giving it away and how I'm going to do it. Give a solid to somebody that doesn't have it. So yeah, Lana just smell. Oh, we smell all the time here. It's it's the woes me motherfuckers, man. These fucking woes me. Dude, you're not going to gaslight 74,000 people that choose to subscribe to my channel. No, you're just not. And you want to talk your shit? Well, then guess what? You think I'm not going to stand up for myself? Because I am. So sit down, fucking sit, and motherfucking spin. And trust me, I'm calling the police. I'm calling. And in fact, I have to make a phone call right now to Maori. Let me see. I called earlier. Missed calls. I have to wait. I left a message. All right, let's go back to then. Well, I'm waiting for a second. So again, just released. Hitler went ahead and was like, "Oh, here, I'll release some stuff." So if you go over here to the interest page, what I just showed you guys was the redacted exhibits 1, 2, and 3, and then you can see here now the redacted exhibits 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in support of the motion limine, excluding IGG. So when you click on that, it'll then take you to that document. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this document, which is another banger, 22 pages. And this was filed originally under seal. And this is all about the excluding of IGG. So let's see what they're going to give us. So Exhibit 1 is the Othram Report, December 16th. Discovery Bates page 15378. Bates 15,302. Defendant's 15th supplemental request for discovery, Exhibit N. Yeah. State's response to defendant's 22nd supplement. Woohoo. Let's see what we get. Come on, Ann. What do you got for us? Uh-oh. Okay. Othram. Woohoo. First time Othram coming on the scene. Yes, shake it. Othram, first ever. This is it. This is the first time we're seeing Othram in a head. Look at that header right there. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Based on forensic IGG FIG, and records research, the recommendation is to retrieve, this is what's recommended, is to retrieve DNA reference samples from either blank, 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 or blank. The four brothers are descendants of the identified most recent common ancestors for the DNA match number 1 and DNA match number 2. So again, this was in a report that was written December 16th, 2022. But that's just when they typed it up. The DNA profile was uploaded to Family Tree DNA and GEDmatch Pro and was matched with genetic relatives suitable for FIG and RR. And it says that here's the mixture. The unsub has a broad heritage. Broad heritage. Preliminary interpretations and recommendations. The DNA profile was uploaded to FTDNA and GEDmatch Pro, the authorized genetic genealogy database for law enforcement use. Admixture results revealed that the unsub is a male. Thank you. Thank you for the male. DNA testing candidates were identified to help move the investigation forward. However, the DNA analysis and genealogical research are incomplete. At the request of the agency, work on this case ceased on December 10th. Again, look at how they're doing like their 10 December. Like, it's interesting. So there we go. DNA match number 1 shares. So this person shares, that's low as fuck. Low as hell. This is the relationship probabilities. DNA match number 2, 60. Is 8th great grandparent level or closer. Look at that. Get out of here. Do you see how far they were? DNA match number 1 and DNA match number 2, red outline, share blank and blank. So we can't see any of that. Due to the low matches, reference samples are needed to further the investigation. The 4 brothers outlined in blue in the diagram above are great grandchildren of these 2 people. The brothers are one generation closer to the MRCA, which is what they're looking for. Testing one generation above the highest match could identify additional DNA matches to the unsub and help place the unsub in the family tree. We cannot even place him in this family tree. Based on DNA analysis in conjunction with the genealogical research, the recommended next steps are DNA reference testing from either blank, The samples collected will be compared to the unknown male's DNA profile generated by Othram. Comparison is needed to increase the number of genetic matches available for the forensic genetic genealogy. Once the reference DNA data is uploaded to the genetic databases, the additional data points can help narrow the relationship possibilities towards identifying the unknown male subject. That is what unsub is. Testing one generation above the top genetic match will increase the chances of another DNA match or matches. Disclaimer, upon the instruction of the agency, work on this case ceased on the 10th of December, before the DNA analysis and the research was complete. That's the disclaimer. And then it tells you what this is, like what DNA profile, like what the language is. It's your vocab section. Let's have a vocabulary test. Then Ann Taylor's like, oh, we got some emails. Then she's like, here's my next exhibit. Matthew Gamet, December 10th. Oh God, this is what we've been waiting for. This is so fucking good. Woo-hoo-hoo! Yeah. Holy shit. Okay, so look at see? Ed Jacobson. Yes, he's in everything. I fucking pegged that. I called that. Oh my God, hold on, I gotta make a note. Eddie boy. Ed Jacobson. CC'd. So this is from Matthew Gamet. Look at this. Remember all of this is supposed to have Blaker's name on it too? Like, who in here is from Moscow Police Department? December 10th, 2022 at 4:43 p.m. David, this is from Matthew Gamet, who's running the Idaho State Police Lab. David, I wanted to express our heartfelt thanks for the work of your team on this case. The timeliness, professionalism, confidentiality, and everything you and your staff have personally put in on this case is very much appreciated. As we have discussed, the speed and effort you and Othram have put in on this case has been historic. As discussed on the phone, this is why Ann Taylor was like, okay, Matthew Gamet, let's talk. Let's talk, you fucking prick. And what did he get up there? And he acted like he had no clue what the hell was going on, man. You don't know what's going on? Ann Taylor brings this schlup up there. He gets under oath. He's over here writing all this love notes. As discussed on the phone, it is the desire of the lead investigative agency on this case, the Moscow Police Chief, James Fry. Oh my God, they put his name on it? Oh my God. And Bill Thompson, and lead prosecuting agency on the case, Bill Thompson. Oh my God, they determined, yep. Oh, that we're, oh my God. I mean, I thought they were going to put like Payne. Payne's over here like, Chief Fry made the call. Chief Fry made the call. This is why Ann Taylor had him on the list. So as discussed on the phone, it is the desire. It was the desire of the lead investigative agency on this case, Moscow Police Chief James Fry, and lead prosecuting agency on this case, Latah County Prosecutor Bill Thompson, for you to provide the following information to Amy Whitman. Shut the fuck up. Curtis Whitman, Amy Whitman, I am going to pass the fuck out. If we get a Whitman, give it to Amy Whitman of the FBI. They just put her name out there. As the Idaho State contract agent with Othram Labs, Idaho State Police Forensic Services is providing the following instructions to Othram Labs. Othram is saying that they didn't do this. Please provide login credentials via email or phone to blank or blank. Please ask to transfer the GEDmatch Pro kit to the FBI account blank. Please provide the SNP profile created by Othram via email to blank. Yeah, so you don't have to create anything because we already created it. You get what I'm saying? The FBI has communicated that each of these pieces are necessary for the FBI investigative genetic team to complete their investigative genealogy process. We need this. No, you don't. Not if you're just creating your own shit. Further, please also preserve the whole genome profile that you have generated on this case. Any remaining DNA extract, if existing, look at all this stuff and they're like, where is it? Any other records they have on this case and anything else laid out in the state contract with Idaho until Moscow PD and the Latah County PAOA, which is Prosecuting Attorney Office, communicate that such information does not need to be retained by Othram's lab. Oh my God, they're putting it. Holy shit. Oh my God, this is just all lies. Oh my God. They just lied under this. Matthew Gamet. I don't recall what I was talking about. Holy shit. Guess who had to make the call then for Othram to get rid of anything? Until the Moscow PD and the Latah County Prosecuting Attorney's Office communicate that such information does not need to be retained. All of it needs to be retained. Everything, how we do things in our state contract with everything that we do, you're doing it the same. Provide your final report on this case to ISPFS, that is Idaho State Police Forensic. Per the state contract stipulations and obligations, the Othram report will then be forwarded to the investigative team. Continue to honor your non-disclosure agreements that have been put into place on this case until further notice in writing from Moscow PD or Latah County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. Terminate any further work on this case until specifically requested in writing by, so do not work on this. Oh my God. Why would they ever want to do that? Why wouldn't they want to work a tandem here? This is nuts, if you ask me. You'd want his, yeah. Provide Idaho State Police Forensic Services with your final invoice on the case, and we will make a payment upon receipt of that final report. To complete our contractual obligations for services rendered on this case, please contact me if you need any further clarification or action from us to accommodate these instructions. Now think about this. They haven't been putting anything in writing, right? And so I'm curious if Othram was like, fuck, you're going to put all that shit in writing. And that's why this exists. Because they had a meeting, not on the 10th, but I think on like December 4th. December 6th, December 8th. Contract instructions is you guys think about this. They weren't doing anything like this and putting anything in writing. I think Othram was like, you're going to put this all in writing. So I think that's my take. Index of contents. So notice of in-camera submissions consistent with the court's order of October 25th, 2023. FBI materials binder, number of pages 66. FBI Ancestry.com, family tree and close-up one tube. ISP emails, number of pages 37. What? There was 37 emails by Idaho State Police that was seen in-camera review. So this is the index of the in-camera review that Judge looked at on October 25th, 2023. ISP Othram contract documents, shipment of DNA profile documents, Othram emails and documents, ISP emails, FBI materials binder. Huh. Oh, Exhibit N. Sealed IgG supplemental request. All bench notes from Autham's lab regarding testing of sample Q1.1 submitted by Idaho State Police, whether for microarray SNP testing or WGS, which is whole genome sequencing, including but not limited to quantitation of DNA, identification of foreign DNA, including if it was like a single source or if it was a mixture. Type of testing used, including test kit names. All names of any software used in processing the SNP. All names and CVs of individuals responsible for all testing steps, including bioinformatic information. Yeah, that's normal. So all of this is just all the things that you would need. All logs and associated investigative documents for contamination or other unusual events in this testing procedure. So like they didn't get any of this, I don't believe. Identify and provide the SNP profile or profiles uploaded by either Autham or FBI or both to any commercial databases and used to obtain the 5 matches as listed on page 154. So they wanted that information. Provide all photographs of the whiteboard where the family tree was created. Exactly. Because again, just in this case, nobody took pictures. Nobody has their work. This is why I believe that they hid behind all of this. And this is all a lie. Provide all screenshots of all matches found. Provide kit numbers for all matches identified. Please provide all of the names that appear in the match list at Family Tree, DNA, and MyHeritage. Please provide email addresses for all matches at GenMatch, Family Tree, all this shit. Please provide information related to blank where they fit in Brian Kober's family tree. You know, those 2 people that were the 70 and 60. Provide the name of the database from which each match was identified for both the Autham and FBI SNP profiles. Identify which matches from the maternal side were utilized to bring the focus to Brian Kober. Describe the process of eliminating males in the generational lines in both Brian Kober's generation and Michael Kober's generation. It's really important right there. Provide all other kit matches data deemed not depicted in the family tree and identify the person who knows and can explain all of the IgG process. Identify the person. I don't believe that's ever happened. Now, this is the response. This was sealed, unredacted, Exhibit S. So this is the state's response to defendant's 20-second supplemental request for discovery. Exhibit U, filed on 1/28/2025. The state's responses are provided in blue. So again, all Autham lab protocols, policies, procedures, and validation studies in place in December of 2022 as testified about by Matthew Gamet. So this is after the suppression hearing, when Matthew Gamet just told Ann Taylor stuff that she had no idea about. Ann Taylor comes back to the drawing board and says, okay, here we got to start going. We got to start doing this, which is all Autham lab protocols, policies, like all this shit. So the state objects to this request as untimely and improper. Matthew Gamet testified about Autham's protocols and procedures in the context of the bidding process. The documents related to the bidding were included in or referenced in the materials provided to the court to review in camera. This is gaslighting. The court required the state to discover only the MOU from the bidding documents. See sealed order. The state need not only discover pages 99 through 103, the memorandum of understanding, if the remaining contract documents are not relevant to any issue in the case. The court did not require the state to produce any of the other bidding documentation, including Autham's bid submission that disclosed Autham's accreditation status, other consumers, past cases, the name and qualification, all this shit. If the defense thought it should have access to any of the protected materials, the proper procedure would have been to move the court to reconsider its decision. Okay. Now, all Autham lab materials created, collected, or held pursuant to the policy and protocol in place as testified to Matthew Gammon on 1/23/2025. This request includes but is not limited to all of the bench notes original, because remember in that email it said to hang on to all that shit. The state objects to this request as both untimely and improper. The state disclosed to the defense everything ordered to be disclosed by the court after its in-camera review. But there's an issue. All the documents, records produced to the FBI, including but not limited to all documents recorded, blah, 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 blah. The state objects to this request. The FBI's letter dated November 28th, 2023, which the state produced to the defense on 1/29/2024, explains that the FBI provided all the materials in its possession related to the utilization of IGG in this case to the court for in-camera review. The state disclosed to the defense everything ordered to be disclosed by the court after its in-camera review. The requested materials either do not exist or were protected by the court's decision not to require the state to disclose them. All documents. No, because what had happened is Othram never sent anything. All written notes, records, emails, research, or documentation of any kind by Matthew Gammon regarding his effort to search and obtain voluntary DNA to assist Othram's work to identify the contributor of the DNA of the sheath. And this is where it was like, Matt, what'd you do when, Othram's over here telling you that this is what you should be doing and going to try to get these people to put their DNA, Where's any notes? Where's any report? Why didn't you write up a report saying of what you're doing? And then you're like, that was where Victoria Gooch. Did Victoria Gooch write up a report that she was doing any of this? I don't know if she wrote up a report. I didn't write one, Matt says. What? On February 11th, 2025, the state received the above requested information from ISP Legal Counsel. This information will be forthcoming in discovery. What's that? All written notes, reports, recordings, or emails related to Vicky Gooch. There it is. Calling this shit out before I'm reading it. Boom. The state has inquired of legal counsel. The state has inquired of legal counsel for ISP and will supplement the response accordingly. There was nothing. Why are they talking to legal counsel? Interesting. A copy of all records, because they must have said we gave you guys everything. A copy of all records the FBI received from Othram, including but not limited to all records bioinformatic methods. The state objects to this request as untimely and improper. The FBI letter dated November 28th, which the state produced to the defense. Okay, so just repeating that. That is why they're not doing it. All records related to entry in databases, GEDmatch Pro. Here's the big one. Here's the biggie. Right there. What were you putting? My heritage is not permitted. The state objects to this request as both untimely and improper. The defense already tried requesting the same or similar information. The parties litigated the issue and the court ruled that the state did not have to disclose the information. Are you fucking kidding me? All records related to entry in databases, they didn't have to say if they went into, what was Judge doing over there? Woo-wee. I couldn't agree more. That's what I've been saying, man. I cannot reiterate this enough. I feel so sorry for the parents that this that this case investigation is so fucked up. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's messed up. The defense's attempt to obtain information that the court had already ruled the state does not have to provide by sending the state a new request is improper. If the defense disagree with, blah, blah, blah. We'll see. Copy of JED.com file that is part of the ancestry tree built as testified to by Dr. Leah Larkin. You guys, Matthew Gamet changed. When Matthew Gamet got on the stand and made the statements that he did, it then is rescoping things. So that's all I got to say about that. The state objects to this request as both untimely and improper. The reference to Dr. Leah Larkin's testimony on 1/23/25, as if that is when the defense first learned of a JED.com file, is at best misleading. Now that's interesting. The state sought a protective order for the IGG information in this case. The district attorney or the district court ordered an in-camera review of the IGG information to determine what, if anything, should be disclosed to the defense. The state provided the court with a letter from the FBI dated November 28, 2023. The letter explained a digital version of the family tree exists, a digital version, in the form of a JED.com file and is available for in-camera review of the court by the court upon request. Viewing the digital file requires downloading proprietary software. Examples of websites offering such software include Ancestry.com. Okay, great. The additional data associated with the individuals as described above are not available via the JED.com file unless accessed via Ancestry. Okay. Bates pages. The court ordered the discovery of certain information reviewed in camera, but did not request the JED.com file or order its disclosure. Why? How did this ball get dropped? What the fuck's going on? The quoted FBI letter was produced to the defense on 1/29/2024. I gotta look at these dates here. There's an issue. The defense then waited 12 months after it learned of the JED.com file and 75 days after its discovery motion deadline to first request the JED.com file. Additionally, the district court's decision on the state's motion for a protective order meant that the JED.com file was ordered protected by the court. The defense's attempt to obtain an already protected file by sending the state a new request is improper. See, this is where I disagree with this type of stuff. Okay, listen, if we are out here for the truth, okay, and you're not hiding behind IGG, all right, just hear me out on this. This is all under a protective order to begin with. We use IGG. Here we go. We're laying everything out, right? Again, we go back to who wouldn't want the credit that you caught one of the most, like, this person is well on their way to becoming a serial killer, right? Shit, they didn't start with just one killing. They took out 4 fucking people. I mean, who doesn't want this? Who doesn't want this credit? So, okay, hold on a second. Hey, chat, stay on topic. This is the topic. Thank you. So, Ann Taylor, if she's not understanding what any of this truly is, and she's like, Leah Larkin just said she testified to this at this hearing. Well, where is this? If there's a digital file, right? A digital version of the family tree exists. Like, was Ann Taylor not understanding that back whenever like something's amiss here? Because I can't imagine that Ann Taylor's not asking for this. Like she must have not understood this. I would love to know her response to that. And I just don't know if they were just, I don't know what the fuck she was doing. Identity of FBI analysis creating the SMP utilized by the FBI as genetic genealogy investigation. The state objects to this request. Identity of FBI analysts creating the SMP. I just think this is nuts. The state objects to this request as untimely and improper. The request is also factually inaccurate in that no FBI analyst creating an SMP profile in this case. That's correct. Like, how do you fuck up that wording? Identity of FBI analysis creating the SMP. Well, no, that's not true. You guys created a new one. The FBI, look at how the state's trying to say this. The state objects to this request, but also says that this request is also factually inaccurate in that no FBI analysis creating an SMP profile in this case. Well, then how is... What? Yeah, hold on a second. I gotta... There we go. Is AT dirty? No, you guys, I don't think that she's dirty at all. Not if she's about to fall on her sword, she's not dirty, right? I mean, or is that dirty? Let me see the state explain this. As the state explained to the defense in a letter dated October 11th, when I disclosed the two versions of the SMP profile. So for context, on November 22nd, 2022. Ooh, we get more dates. A portion of the DNA extract was personally delivered to Othram Laboratories, a private lab from Idaho State Police Forensic Services. Yes. Using a portion of the DNA extract, Othram performed a DNA test called forensic grade genome sequencing. Yes, this created an SMP profile. This SMP profile was uploaded by Othram to begin their research. On December 10th, 2022, Othram was instructed to cease all work on the case. Per instructions, Othram transferred all genetic genealogy database credentials to the FBI. Emailed login instructions and password. After this transfer, Othram no longer had access to the genetic genealogy database results. As a result, we are sending you two SMP profiles. One, the one developed by Othram, and two, the one from the database transferred to the FBI. What? Did Ann Taylor miss this? This is saying that Othram created both. But that's not how that works. You don't need to do this. As a result, we are sending you two SMP. One was the one that developed by Othram, and two, the one from the database that was transferred to the FBI. What? I gotta make a phone call. That doesn't make any sense. That's not how you do it. All that was supposed to happen is, and this is what happens in, it's Leah Larkin's report. Leah Larkin's report explains that all the FBI needed to get was, because it was already uploaded into the right databases. Okay. And so the only thing that had to be given here is you're going to get the passcode to the FBI, the name and the passcode of the account, give that to the FBI so that they can then do, so that's all you need to give them. And so Leah Larkin was basically saying, like, there should have been no another go around with making a new, like, how do we end up here with two? As a result, we are sending you two SMP profiles. The one is the one developed by Othram, and two, the one from the database transferred to the FBI. It's the same fucking thing. What's up, my man? What's up? Have you gone over any of these new docs? No, this would be the state trying to hide some more shit. This is fucking nuts, if you ask me. This is nuts. Sherry, Atlanta girl, you rock. I appreciate all your hard work and love the beautiful brainverse. Thank you so much, Sherry. Baby, buy you a drink for good karma. Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Process used by the FBI analysis creating the SMP profile utilized by the FBI in its genetic genealogy investigation, including the type of bioinformatics programs used and any and all quality assurances, quality control manuals, or protocols, as well as validation studies. See response to 432. Yeah, identity of FBI IgG analysis performing the genetic genealogy investigation. The state objects to this request as untimely. As the FBI explained to the court in its letter, personally identifiable information pertaining to the identities of those sending or receiving correspondence have been redacted from any items. The FBI's letter and the email communications with redactions were provided to the defense on, look at that, on 1/29/2024. Why so long? Nevertheless, the defense waited 12 months after it received this letter and 2.5 months after their deadline for discovery motions passed to request this information. I gotta be honest about something, guys. Additionally, the state again notes that it has complied with the court's order as to what information should be disclosed. Defendant's proper recourse would have been to request reconsideration of those orders. And this is where Ann Taylor kind of loses it, where she's like, okay, you guys are just lying now. The state will file a motion limine on the, oh my God, and they make it known. The state will file a motion limine on the IgG information. Depending on how the court rules, the state may disclose one or more of the IgG analysis as fact witnesses for trial. Results for the IgG FIG searches in each of the following databases. The state objects. The defense already tried requesting the results from the searches in the databases. The parties litigated the issue, and the court ruled that the state did not have to disclose that information. I cannot believe that they did not have to disclose where they got the different matches from. Then how do they end up getting this? The defense's attempt to obtain information the court already ruled the state does not have to provide by sending the state a new request. So if the defense, all in any work done by the FBI now, analyst, investigator, or officer, or anybody working on behalf of the FBI in researching, interviewing, and testing any collateral contact for genetic testing. The state objects to this request as untimely and improper. The FBI's letter explains that the FBI provided all the materials in its possession related to the utilization of IgG in this case to the court in camera view. Boy. Any and all communications between Moscow PD, late. Okay, yeah. What's up with this one? After 12/10. All non-attorney work product emails regarding IgG, SNP, or Althrum genetic genealogy, which were ordered to be disclosed after the courts in camera review, have been previously provided to the defense. Where? Okay, what was this? Ann Taylor. Exhibits 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in support of motion limine, excluding IgG evidence. I gotta fucking pull that back up. It never made sense to me. Why they were trying to boot it. I would have shown how shady they were. All right, so we go back over here and another new, we got redacted exhibits 1 and 2 in support of motion to strike the death penalty, and then redaction exhibit 1 support to conditions for, so I'm not interested in either of those two. You can go right there and check it out. Let's see if this one I'm interested in. Come on, let's see, there should be more. Where is the Franks? FBI to Apple, 12/21. Email from Lawrence Mowry to Francis. Who the fuck is that? Google. What's that date? 1/4. Okay. And then the last part here, going back over to you guys, with it being members only here, what questions do you guys have for Chris Whitcomb for me? I'm looking at chat now. So what do you guys got for me? Interactive here. I'm going to be interviewing Chris again tomorrow for our follow-up at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I am taking your questions. So what do you guys want to know? Woo woo. Explorer logs. I want to know more about KG, her phone, and XNE timeline. The downstairs spare room. Info he has about Murphy. I don't know how that's really going to play in it. I think that's just like a dead end. There's no info. The spare room. Okay. I'll see how. Syray. He never interviewed Adam. Okay, so this is where I was thinking. Heading. Last proof of life for. So basically, you want the movements of the phones, right? And so now that we have these reports out, okay, these reports. So there's more stuff that's publicly available. Why the spare room is relevant and 4:29 a.m. vehicle, please. Well, we'll definitely talk to him about that vehicle because it's not the same as the 424 one, but basically we need the Palouse or properties vehicles. We need to ask him if he knew anything about the 2013 silver, right? Elantra. We can go with that DoorDash. The Jack in the Box. Cameras. Who, if anyone, was at the house before the cops other than Emily and Hunter? Well, we can ask if they did a geofence until 12 noon. I mean, I don't know if it's in a Justin N. DD. Who works at 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. She never said that she was that car. Clearly he knows that, but the guess would be is, did the defense interview her? Does he have any information on the defense with that? Thank you so much. Got to run now, everybody. Hope to catch in later and definitely see you tomorrow. Yes, absolutely. Xana wearing at the party. So pictures. So like, what was Xana wearing at the party with Jackie? You know, Jackie's picture on Snap for the story. Okay. I think if we have the measurements, love you, Lana, and you too, beautiful about. Thank you, Michelle. You know, I think it'd be interesting is if we have the measurements, right? Why didn't they ever test to see if a dog was, you know, wet because the dog was cleaned off because the dog, you know, got into whatever. And so they had to rinse off the dog gets wet. And the height level, you know, the whole thing is that if a dog is on and shaking, right, after they got the dog wet, gave the dog a bath, the downstairs bathroom, the dog is going up and then shaking, wouldn't that fling water at all totally different areas of the upstairs? Well, I think that's a given that it wasn't, because we have all of that. How about some of the stuff that Cyray has made a claim of, and everybody, you know, is like, you know. So how about this? How about this? This other route B. Great live. So proud as a mother should. Britt, you rock. Has he listened to the Ring camera of the terrible screams, male voice? How do we know that's his actual cell phone number? Which one? Oh, I got one now. Device number 2 that was of interest to the FBI, and that there was no interest in it from the defense perspective. No interest from defense. They never put in a fucking request. Like, how ridiculous is that? Was there any that's a good question. Side claiming that BK can be put right in the house or the property. Yeah. We'll do the White's blood. I still don't understand if there was any documentation of why the FBI didn't get their phones, if it was a priority. The White's blood, Sass, Xana's. Was it a fishing hook? Lure, or was it Xana's bracelet? What else? How about this one? Did you see any search warrants that have to do with any of the third? So if we go with search warrants for any subjects / suspects before Brian, that went into any third party apps / financials. Basically, if you listen to the Dax Shepard interview, I loved when Chris talked about the fact, what I basically think he's alluding to is that if Brian's name was just like a tip, like anybody else would call the tip line, right? Then why did everything change on how you went about investigating that tip? You know what I'm saying? Like, here, you guys were doing, like, you guys had your little methodology, like, here, go talk to the person, go do this, go do that. Like, it was always the same thing, which it seemed like for everybody, right? I mean, a couple of people, hey, well, I mean, they're going to say, we didn't go and interview, Cruz. We just went and picked up his cigarette butt, his cigarette butts. And like, so I think like he was the only person that who else wasn't interviewed? But we don't know. Maybe the FBI did talk to him. But what it seems like is everything was, the way they went about it was totally different for Brian. So what do you guys think about that? Different times of crimes. Who was being extorted? We'll ask him what he thinks about writing up a thing for extortion. Within FBI reports. Yeah, I'll ask him. That's a good question for him because of his involvement with the FBI. Thank you so much, Whiskey Dawn. Sly was a cowboy. I don't think he was a cowboy. Accomplished day things. I was sent to her when she said that, but I'm not AI. I've been on Birdie's channel 3 times. I've done nothing but try to help. I didn't say you were. I didn't say you were AI. I just said I didn't know who you were. So, and I said they're doing. How many FOIA requests do you have in right now? Like interview or anything. I still have to listen to that one. I have a list of Lana's recommendations. I have been binging Lana for 2 weeks now. Getting back into the flow. Where you been? Get back into the flow. Howdy. Use the ones that I saw last night. Oh, does he think we are on the right track since the book came out? I don't know how much he's watched. That's a good, how about the falling on the sword? How about, Pav's theory on, because there's a difference of like just Ann Taylor falling on the sword, but then Pav's theory is that Cyree, that everybody's playing a role here for this all to take place. And I just don't see it because, but why didn't they ever release a description of the perp? Sorry. I'm sorry. How come they were never given fucking lie detector tests? What does he think about that? We're going to ask him what he thinks the strongest, if you were representing Brian Colbert with everything that you think that or, questioning or whatever, how do you go about this? Brian Colbert just asked for the trial, not the trial transcripts, but the sentencing hearing transcripts. And I believe Brian Colbert is going to say, I followed suit just like my lawyer said that lying wasn't a big deal. And here they're going to show Ann Taylor lying about looking through the discovery, and she got through all of it, right? So she's like, hey, I'm just going to lead things off and I'm going to lie because he's going to ask me if I went through everything, and I'm going to have to say yes when I didn't. And then when he's asking everything, you're going to say yes. And so I think that Brian Colbert is going to make a mention about that. Wouldn't you? To like show that you have actually some, what's the word I want to use? Evidence of what you're claiming, of Ann Taylor telling you that the judge does not give a fuck if you're being truthful or not. You're just going to have to say yes. Well, accomplished, where's accomplished at? Accomplished day. I tell people to go to your channel and go check out your FOIAs. So. Did Chris use info he was told, or did he get all reports you, Lana, have been using? No, because the blood of Xana was not where he said. Blood of Xana. Well, I think sometimes maybe he was just misspeaking. Not because he was trying to be like shady or something like that, but I think when you're just going through everything and you make a comment, and that's kind of what I see in terms of something like that. Okay, how about this? Don't be giving them credit when credit is not due. I don't know what that's about, but what do you guys think about who was ever interviewed that Kaylee's drug? Why were they after Kaylee's drug dealer? Who Bailey's cocaine drug dealer. The fuck? Who was interviewed? You know, I'm going to ask him about Dave. I'm going to ask him about Emma Bailey. If these names were ever seen, Emma Bailey and, D. And so, all right, guys, head on over. In 15 minutes, Chris Whitcomb is going to be right there on Custody Queens channel. Outcast is going to be there with them. So again, Custody Queens is and Ron is interviewing Chris tonight. It starts in 15 minutes. So this happy hour is taking you right to boom. So all you're going to do is just go on over. Go grab some food. See what the girls and Ron ask. I'm sure they're going to have good questions. They talked to him before. So again, I'm going to be building off of what we talked about the last time. And obviously just from then and now, what has transpired from the time that we talked to him in the book, his book broke, Brian Kober quoted broken plea, just, that phrase. And, and basically Chris's source is the same source that I think Brian Kober is going with. Okay. So, we'll ask him if Brian's family has reached out to him, has Ann Taylor reached out, and, maybe he'll say, I'm not going to answer that. I don't know. But Brian and, I want to ask if Cy Ray reached out, I'm just curious. Because if I was Cy Ray, I'd be freaking reaching out and being like, hey, what reports you got, man? Let me see those. Like, I want to see some of these reports. I want to see if what you have is what we have. Maybe we're missing some stuff. Maybe, I can, maybe me and you together, we can get somewhere. Any place is better. I just think instead of attacking people, fucking A, man. That's why I said, Chris, where do I got to fly? I'll meet you up. I'll grab that material. So I wonder if Brian bought his book and read it. I wonder if it's in prison right now. Did you see did you see your book being mailed to the prison? Can you even see that? Quick question. Do we get free bathwater for being members? I'm definitely drinking the Atlanta's bathwater with ice cubes, okay? None of that lukewarm shit. It's either got to be piping hot or freeze it out. All right, again, I want to make sure I say thank you to all of you guys that have become a new member pretty much over Idaho4. UK, Claire, what's good in the hood? What's up, V-Slims? Good to see you. Murky making it pop as always. That's the last person that we need around these streets. Deborah, you're just a fucking gem. This is absolutely Grammy worthy. Yeah, fuck that. All right, you guys, get on over there. We'll see you over there again. I did this live at this time instead of doing a live at 9:30 for the purpose of I'm going to be working with my interview that I have at 2 tomorrow, and I want to be able to support what's happening over there with Custody Queens and Ron. So, Mark B, what's good in the hood? Oh, speaking of which, we got Becker's report. these reports that we have right now. We need to know where Josiah Roloffs is. Was he not firing off one? Okay, but Becker, expert report. And it's just totally deviation from practice, the norms. Mark B got me thinking about the car. Sleepy, true. Time, true crime. All right, guys, go on over there. Again, Custody Queens, have a good one. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Ciao, motherfuckers. Thank you, moderators.